and the change in the environment that keeps things happy and healthy. Now, you've got environmentalists that want to plop an overlay and say, this is the boundary. This is where the rare whatever lives. And then when they do that, they're depriving other species at the exact same time. They're trying to create a condition falsely to benefit one species at the detriment of many others. And lots of examples that I could go in Montana with a wolf reintroduction. They used to have a herd of 19,000 caribou. And they said, we expect this to just flourish. The caribou to do great. The wolves are going to eat the weak and the sick. I can tell you, a hungry wolf is going to eat anything. They went from 19,000 down to about 4,000. Happens all the time. When they start tinkering in areas and trying to put a static environment or boundaries around an environment, everything goes to heck in a handbasket. The trick they use in California. I've only got about a minute left. Worth mentioning though, national forest. You get an area that's designated national forest. Now it's off limits to man for the most part. One might be able to walk through it, no motorized vehicles, none of that crazy stuff. Their management plan is hands off. Mother Nature knows best. I know that because in the Quabbin Reservoir, we've got big stands of dead trees. Okay, this is right where Boston gets his water supply. These are acres and acres of standing dead timber. Disease hit these guys. They're also in types of endangered habitat known as pine barrens, which is that Frolov farm they want to expand this. All right, environmentalist, huh? National forest is designated national forest, hands off, approach to maintenance. Around the outside edge. See, this is where your lefty environmentalists worked on getting that designation. Now your righties, your business-oriented agendas, are working around the outside, and they're rezoning that, convincing people, you know what, we don't really need any more single-family homes in this area. You're exempt. You know, they sell it that way by saying, you're exempt, you and your home are cool, you just go on and vote with us, and you won't have as many neighbors, it'll be great. So they rezone around the forest. No more single-family homes. What happens when lightning strikes an unmanaged forest? It catches right on fire. Takes 2 or 3 days for the firefighters to get permission from the Green Coast to cut a fire road to start fighting the fire. What could have been a 3-acre fire is now 300 acres. And I can tell you the fire's going to burn right off the reservation and right through those single-family homes. And let me tell you, those folks are singing the blues because when they go back to rebuild their single-family homes, they're told no. Yeah. They're unsustainable. You're unsustainable. So, I'm out of time. I've got to tell you, the battlegrounds are in your communities. You absolutely have things that you can do. The woman in Carver, she happened to pick up on some of this information and ran with it, and she's largely responsible for Carver being where it is. So please get involved at the local level. Get on your open space committee. They spent 15 years getting us used to the term open space. Now they're empowering them. You need to be there when these groups are writing their mission statements and when they're reorganizing. You and your people have got to be involved at that level.
A couple more things from on my end, and then we'll have any questions, we can do it sort of informally, but this is a call to action, and hopefully I'll answer your question here. A month ago I was in Nashua, looking for evidence of ICLEI, this arm of the UN. I went to the City Hall, and I was informed that the mayor never heard of Agenda 21. I left off a DVD that I showed you, and some reprints to all of the aldermen, and the mayor, I spoke to some of the mayor's office. Anybody from the mayor's office here? Yeah, they were supposed to show. How about any aldermen? Yeah, guess they couldn't find a way to the library. It's kind of a little off the beaten track, yeah. So anyway, I'll handle that. I didn't see any overt signs of it. I didn't see any big green displays like I found in other places. There was a little bulletin board with some kids, how to save the world, little cartoons and colorings. So I took a walk on Main Street, and I found a storefront called Renaissance Downtowns. I says, right, you can probably throw a rock to it. Not that I suggest you do that, but you can. It's very close down the street, right around the corner. And I thought, what is this? And I looked in and I saw maps like Jay just showed. I said, ha! I walked in there and I had my trusty camera that is being videotaping this message here. And a nice young lady. It's always have nice young ladies that work at these places, you know. And I said, and I saw a display about the size of this. It says sustainable, what is sustainability? I said, I found it. And I said, can I take some pictures? He said, oh, sure. I took pictures of the maps, you know, the zoning maps of Nashua and this sustainable thing. And I said, can I have some information about Renaissance downtowns? It's a private corporation, probably a Bennett Foot Corporation, that's building a project here in Nashua, right? And it's a sustainable green project. The word UN does not show up anywhere here. I went to their website and put in Agenda 21, it doesn't come up. But guess what, folks? They're already in Nashua. And they're getting federal and state and local money, as well as some private money, to build this Stackham and Packham housing. And Nashua used to be what, a blue-collar mill town, is now a boutique city. Did you know that? Didn't they call this the gay city? Now it's a boutique city.
What does that mean?
Boutique is where people, the upper middle class, will leave the suburbs and move in and enjoy the shops in town and the nice little things that Nashua has to offer. In other words, get out of the rural areas. Right. Have a little 500 square foot residence, as Dave said, no lawn furniture. Maybe you may have a car that haven't got light rail yet, but that's probably on the way, right? I live in West Roxbury, a section of Boston, and I just noticed a development. They just put a big hole, right? I said, gee, what's going on? There used to be a parking lot right across from the commuter rail station. So that's in Dedham, Massachusetts. They've built a few places right there. So it's evidence these green technologies, green companies come in. Now, what to do about it? Carver is a typical example. I do this full time. This is my thing, okay, as a John Birch Society field rep. I had 38 towns and cities in Massachusetts that belong to ICLEI. Okay, so I said, it's like the mosquito in a nudist colony. Where do I begin, right? It's not what I can do. Where do I begin? I got so much to do. So I thought, okay, Carver. My ancestors pioneered Carver. There's a Shurleff Park. Maybe the name Shurleff would get a few people attention. And it did. Anyway, I did a little, went to Facebook, which can be a very effective tool if you use it right. I said, there must be, there's a Facebook, there's a weekly newspaper, the Carver Reporter. So I clicked Carver Reporter. Sure enough, they had a Facebook page. I clicked like. This article that I showed you, Agenda 21, I put it in a PDF format and uploaded it on my Scribd page, which means I can make a link to my Facebook. And I said that your paper should do an investigation of this organization. Isn't it interesting? They'll investigate a corrupt city official, dog that person, follow them all over the place, get the records and all the people that knew this guy in high school and so forth. But something like this, they don't have the time for, right? So anyway, I posted the article, and and I'm sure some people read it. I say, Carver, do they have a Tea Party group? Carver Tea Party. Nothing popped up. How about Carver Republican Party, right? Up pops. So I said, oh, I clicked like, and I was able to post this article. And I said, your group should be involved in this. Carver belongs to the ICLEI. And I'm sure, well, this lady that belongs to this, that leads the group, Lisa Martin, read the link. She probably downloaded it, and she got back to me within about 3 hours, and she said, I'd never heard of this, but it explains everything. And that was the beginning. Thanks to Lisa, she opened up how many doors for us? All over the state. It is now one of the top items of the Tea Party groups. It is becoming talked about in Massachusetts, and in fact, I'm going to Virginia next week because of a guy I met through this Facebook. Speaking about our camp, they want to start a camp in Virginia. So I said, yeah, man, I'll take a few days off, and I'm going to go down. I'd be happy to go down there and talk about this. And by the way, I encourage you, who's on Facebook here? Join, stop, Agenda 21, stop ICLEI Facebook page. It is a very active page, lots of updated information, okay? You'll always see my postings and Dave postings, and maybe you start your own regional Facebook page or meetup group. Get ICLEI out of wherever, or Agenda 21. If you live in Nashua, I hope you get on the phone tomorrow with your alderman. Well, I guess there's going to be an election to find out maybe tomorrow night or whoever wins the election. Tell them you want them out, cease and desist. Tell your state reps that you need to sponsor legislation to get ICLEI and Agenda 21 out of New Hampshire. We got plenty of resources here. You have my card. Dave will come to your town. If you don't live in Nashua, you want to host a presentation like this, just show a videotape. Go meet your local editor of the local newspaper and tell them, hey, this is a presentation. You guys must have missed it. You didn't read that news release, but you should have been here, and you would have got some information that was very important. The local newspaper, your local, there's so-called stakeholders, the real ones,
That's something.
Get a hold of them with this information, okay? Let them know about this.
One
Your
of us should
selectmen-
mention the consensus and visioning process too, because that's really the nuts and bolts of how they get this through our radar at the local level.
And if you see the words sustainable development, green technology, smart growth, you just say, they've arrived, Agenda 21 is in your town. And again, we're resources. If you're not a JBS member, I think it's a great way to get resources on a regular basis. Massachusetts LPA, which is Dave's group that I work with quite a lot, they got a lot of resources. I have a script page with a collection of articles in Agenda 21, including how to get rid of a smart meter. JBS.org, if you go to the JBS website, you will see an agenda section. You click on Agenda 21, and there are downloads, petitions, how to get ICLA out of your town, some sample letters, and there's also a little button you can push and send an email to your state reps. Now, emails are the least effective means of communication, but it's a way to communicate. They start seeing Agenda 21 in the emails. They're going to start, when they hear it from you folks, they're going to start to pay attention. And it's going to become a primary topic, not something they don't even talk about. It will be something that they better come out opposed if they want to get elected or re-elected. So with that, we want to thank you all. We'll be around. We have to be out. It's actually not 9:30. It's 20 minutes of 9. So we have to be out of here by 9, but we'll be around, and if you have any questions, and if you want to give us your contact information, there's a sign-up sheet there. And boy, if you want to help Dave and I get home, we need gas money, you can put some donation money there. That's the kind of green that we approve about. Thank you all.